Antichrist Underground Agenda. Recent events in the 11th Stargate network and the Crystal Core underground activity triggered struggles for dominating territory in the Inner Earth and Median Earth timeline, in which evictions and hidden operations have taken place. In the loss of territorial control from shifting timelines, disgruntled controller factions are attempting to lure certain lineages of ascending Earth humans from the surface as a bargaining chip, similar to a hostage situation. These factions are deeply studying the memories surfacing in star-seeded people that are connected to the Guardian reclamation of Christos mission, and that which involves the fulfillment of the mission as embodied by the 11th tribes of the Arthurian Grail lineage and the 12th tribes of the Cathara. In essence, by reading the signature of the starseed that is awakening to fulfill the Paleodorian covenant, they reverse engineer the memories recorded in the previous timelines as it's held in the DNA of that individual person. The purpose is to derail and exploit all weakness and vulnerability in order to manipulate blind spots, through which they can project out cloned versions or false realities of previous histories, which the awakening person or group believes are actually real. The intended goal is to subvert or control the consciousness memories in order to derail the individual's awakening and prevent them from developing self-awareness and inner spiritual connection. Instead, keeping them focused on the external reality while ignoring the internal reality, especially those related to the Christos family guardian mission. Generally, gaining control over a person's memories happens when people are unable to discern the difference between the intense wounds or pain they carry, and the emotional manipulation of these painful memories in order to be bonded to some false figure or false timeline which sends them on a wild goose chase. This is why it is critical we are self-aware enough to see our vulnerabilities that can become blind spots and are willing to do emotional healing through clearing the pain body or shadow work, so that we are not easily manipulated by dark forces or others who want to exert control over us. The Guardian host serving the Christos mission will never initiate contact through the urgency, coercion, demands, manipulation or use force. They will never accept involvement in any mind control agenda or that which violates natural laws, or violates the rights of any human being or life form, and consistently emanate the highest Christic ethics, conducting themselves within the law of one principles and the scientific laws that govern the mechanics of creation. Authentic guardian races will assist any sincere spiritual seeker that addresses them through principles of the law of one, whereby they are committed to the expression of unconditional love, truth, respect and reverence for life. Assorted offerings are being marketed to the New Age community as a method to manipulate those on the Earth's surface to believe that putting people in danger through group grid work in the midst of grid warring, or going underground, leaving the Earth, with an otherworldly escort to the Inner Earth timeline would be much more beneficial for them on the ascending path. The Dark Cabal is utilizing this narrative as a premeditated programming bargaining chip, as they have been planning several options of fake alien invasion scenarios during the final conflict battle of the Timeline Wars, in order to create a good, alien space god versus the bad aliens, to further confuse the surface inhabitants. This is a false flag attempt of negative factions to use hostages to ride out of interdimensional access portals through the hijack of indigo or star-seeded lines, as well as an attempt to gain control over timelines. Some of this agenda is being carried out through the guise of grid working groups that are being led into demographics with highly active grid wars, where the Dark Ones desire to hitchhike upon the participants' collective consciousness for a multitude of reasons. The negative alien agenda groups like to promote urgency and fear that the entire Earth's surface will be destroyed and the human race will become extinct, which are lies and deceptions used to psychologically terrorize people into believing that's true. Original angelic human DNA holds the consciousness record in a natural biospiritual internet and are the dimensional keys in the timelines that unlock dimensional doorways throughout the time matrix. It is important to understand that an awakening and ascending Earth human with higher activated DNA holds extreme value to these negative alien agenda groups' factions, who lead unaware people directly into serving their controlling agendas through implanting thoughts of mission urgency with hero-savior complexes. The Guardians caution all ascending people to be awake and aware in order to take good care of ourselves and not accept hidden or secret offers that are glamorized as personal tickets to a promised land for special people. Whether it is an offer to go to Mars, offers to be in secret space programs, offers to travel underground, or offers to travel with special grid working teams on important missions, please be aware that the benevolent and independent forces working to free humanity are not involved in these recruiting schemes. At this stage of the final conflict, there is a high likelihood of negative alien agenda groups hitchhikers manipulating these offers from behind the scenes, or that it involves galactic trafficking. Those of us involved in the Christos mission may have received more aggressive attempts to ensnare us into Antichrist consciousness traps that are set by these same factions who are attempting to gain control of these areas through the manipulation of artificial timelines, cloned versions and holographic inserts. Guardian teams have been working underground in the crystal caverns and have been involved in more retrievals, some secretly rescuing underground hostages or stasis beings. Thus, certain areas on the Earth that are weakened through the damage and bifurcation in the timelines, will simultaneously increase energetic chaos which amplify descending energy pockets. At this time, many of us may be reassigned to a new demographic or place of residence, because our timeline mission with certain areas of Earth are expiring. We have completed a cycle in the timeline and our new residence will reflect a higher degree of value exchange and energetic balance to support our foundation to the next stage of our spiritual mission. This means some of us will actually be guided to stabilize in a certain area, and the nomad stage will end. We are needed to be physically located and stationed in certain areas of the planet, in order to environmentally harmonize and work with those particular fields and coordinates. Although the planet has been purged of a huge population of archontic parasites and AI, hybrid chimeric entities, there are descending pockets on the Earth grid that have collected many fallen angelics and negative alien agenda groups entities that are currently refusing eviction from certain locations or rejecting rehabilitation alternatives. The fallen entities are being culled into specific areas of the Earth, mostly the descending areas, as they are being systematically evicted out of many areas of the planetary grid. At the same time, some of them are refusing eviction and are more aggressive in the means by which they are possessing human bodies and taking them over. This is happening in the descending areas and problematic grid areas more commonly, as well as with traumatized people that suffer from addiction and other spiritual maladies. Fallen angelics and negative aliens that have held certain powers over largely populated areas in big cities, counties, nations and in the planetary ley lines, are being challenged in their identities to prove their right to exist there and to justify the use of energy they have taken from the Earth and others residing in that location. Those entities that fail to answer to the law are being evicted through being read their rights under cosmic sovereign law, while simultaneously, their names, signatures, are being recorded in the book of the law, in which the consequences to actions are left to be decided under the loving benevolence of the true founders of this time matrix. May perfect peace be with you. Lisa Renee.